All righty, I'm gonna go ahead and get started if that sounds good to all of you. So before we switch to the screens, I'll just welcome everybody. It's been a long time since I've seen a lot of you, and I know we've canceled a couple of meetings because things were kind of moving along slowly, and we were running out of updates other than we're still waiting for, maybe utility relocation was still kind of wrapping up, and bids were coming in, but the contract hadn't been awarded yet. So, and it's like, well, what else can we talk about? And I'm like, let's just wait. And then in February, when we were supposed to be meeting, it was at the end of February. We knew that the board was going to decide to award the contract, and again, it was like, okay, are we talking about maybe they're gonna award it? What if they don't? What if, or yay, they will? So it just made sense to wait, have the board meeting, know what's gonna go forward, and then we can kind of know what our path is. It's not delayed, we're moving forward. So we'll pick up our normal cadence starting in May. So we'll just meet again in a few weeks. And I think, do you want to, let's go ahead and go to let's bring up the presentation, David. David's going to run the slides for us tonight. And I've got it set up so I see all of you. And yeah, thank you. So good to see everybody. Welcome back. I think I'm going to breeze through the housekeeping items really quickly. So the project, or excuse me, this webinar is being recorded, and we'll get it posted on the website tomorrow or Monday, so people can review it, or you can review it again or send it out, or it's available, so everybody knows what we talked about. Let's go ahead and go to next slide, please. This is the slide where I'll say we all behave and we treat each other kindly and politely. I don't see any issue here. Let's go on to the next slide. And going forward, the role of the stakeholder working group is to help keep the community informed, keep your the folks that you represent informed of what's going on. And we have been gearing up, and we're getting ready to go to construction. And so now there's going to be a lot of stuff to keep everybody updated on. So really excited about that. And what's also real important, there's community outreach, but there's also engagement. We want to hear from you. So, if you hear things, John, if you hear people are having a hard time getting to the mall because of traffic, it's, or maybe let them know, like, maybe it'll take you a little longer to get to work. I know when I used to work in retail, they didn't like it when we were late because somebody maybe wanted to leave their shift. And, when we get towards the holidays, maybe there's a campaign, don't worry about the traffic, come shopping. So, and we can help with some of that too. In our outreach newsletters, I can work with our marketing department. We can, maybe do some features on that. So we'll just keep our eye on the prize. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so we will do a quick round of introductions. What I thought we could do is maybe just give an update. Or is there any thing you want to hear about at future meetings? Is there anything you're hearing about in the community? And then I'll give a quick rundown on what we discussed when we met in August of, well, we met several months ago. It's been more than 6 months almost. And then what's coming up with community outreach. We'll give a project update and what to expect in the real near term now through May. And I thought it would be good to focus on that stretch of time because we're going to meet again in May, and then we can talk about, okay, we said this, here's what happened, and here's where, here's the next steps, and then open discussion. So this is the part where I'm hoping to hear from you. Let's go back one slide. Thank you. John, Craig, anybody, if you have any updates you want to share that's going on with your neighborhood. For example, do you have any events that you think BTA should attend? And do you have neighborhood association meetings coming up that we might want to be part of that agenda. Or business groups.
So I'm going to look into a couple of the neighborhood associations, and if that's okay, and they're adjacent to ours. So if I can, if they would like to have you guys come in, then that'll be okay, correct?
That would be great. And then and it is going to be and I'll report on mine too when I get to that. I do have a couple already set up, and after the 17th, I'll have a lot more flexibility because we'll be bringing on more staff. But if it's before the 17th, I might not be able to do that. So here I'm saying, invite us, but not, after this date.
No, it will definitely be after April 17th. That's no problem.
Awesome. Okay, thanks.
Right. Thank you.
You're on mute, John. That's okay. I almost understood you.
I don't have anything really important. I just, it's public knowledge that the mall just recently sold, so we have a new owner as of January. So I'm bringing them up to speed on the project.
Okay.
Very excited about the project getting started. Wouldn't mind maybe doing something as something with inside the shopping center that kind of gives people an idea of the scope of the project and updates them, just so customers know, employees know of the mall, what's happening. As far as events, we have the Treba group, which is the Tully Road Business Association. And I think they're planning on having an event sometime in the fall.
Okay.
So that might be an opportunity for the VTA to have a representative there just to answer questions for people who attend, give an update on the project and so forth. So, but I can keep you updated on that, Kathleen, and we can work together to work on those couple of things and a couple of ideas we have just to share information about the project.
And something that we have, we're also thinking of doing is creating signs that people can put that for businesses to put in their window. Like, I mean, your stores are in the mall, but maybe the ones that are on the kind of facing on the outside parts of it, like businesses are open, here's, construction around us, but businesses are open, and a link to the project. And maybe, and I'll work with our marketing group to maybe make it more interesting. But that might be something we can do as well.
Yeah.
And if we had that, or in the mall, if there was something where we could have larger, I don't know if you have like empty storefronts or something that you want to put on the wall or something.
Right, that's what I was thinking, is something on a barricade or within a vacant storefront window that it can be changed out and updated. And then you're right, we have, freestanding pad sites where we don't want, to leave them out of the information flow. So we'll keep them updated as well.
Wonderful. Okay, this is going to be fun. Thank you. Okay. And anyone on staff want to say anything before we go to the next slide? No. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a video. I'm going to share a video. It's a benefits. It's like a keep your eye on the prize video, and I'll give you an update on what you can expect in the near term. I'm going to be like an obnoxious Christmas catalog person with my mailings. You're going to start seeing mailing after mailing after mailing. I'll give you a little rundown of the outreach plan and just some updates on the policy advisory board. We've been meeting with their staff and holding workshops with them, and then wrap up with our stakeholder working group plan for the year. And so let's go to the next video, the next slide, and I'll play the video. It's 3 minutes, 25 seconds long.
Center to VTA's in Santa Clara County, diversity thrives, opportunity abounds, and VTA connects us to what's most important: jobs, education, healthcare, entertainment, and each other. The Eastridge to BART Regional Connector adds 2.4 miles of light rail and 2 additional stations at Story Road and the Eastridge Transit Center to VTA's 42-mile light rail network.
Having any type of public transportation is a way of modernizing the city, and as a business, being able to connect people from every which way, if you will, from north, south, east, west, and having access to taking public transportation to a destination is incredibly important.
The alignment extends from VTA's Alum Rock Transit Center, where light rail travels to the Milpitas BART station and up to Caltrain in Mountain View, improving mobility for richly diverse populations that historically have been underserved.
East San Jose doesn't have too
Uh-oh, what happened?
many opportunities, and by having this light rail BART connector, thus open many opportunities for our residents here in East San Jose. People will be able to get on the light rail and travel to their destinations of their jobs.
We have newcomers coming from all over the world, starting businesses, going to school, mixing with people who've lived here for generations. And light rail, being able to connect to BART, means that people who live, work, and play and worship in this community, they can go to school anywhere they want, they can get jobs anywhere they want. And transportation is all about connecting people to opportunity.
The extension of train service along the Capitol Expressway corridor will encourage future residential development with transit-oriented communities, providing environmentally friendly mobility options.
San Jose is the 12th largest city in the country. And the area that we're in right now has the largest opportunity for redevelopment anywhere in San Jose.
I think it is so important to continue to extend our light rail system to a community that hasn't seen light rail, but is our biggest ridership corridor, and to be able to provide faster rail service with connections that allows them to get it everywhere throughout the Bay Area, but also throughout Santa Clara County in a more economic and efficient way.
I think the idea of connection is really powerful. When I heard about this project and how far it has come, it really connected to what I really believe in, which is connection and community. I see the potential there, I see the opportunities.
VTA strives to lead with equity, embracing the unique identities of our local population. Extensive public input informed the artistic station designs, embracing the vibrant cultures of the region.
Gracias a ustedes y a todos, a San José, al condado, BTA, todo que están dándonos la oportunidad de poder hacer la vida más fácil para nosotros y especialmente para los señores ya.
Fostering sustainability and securing a green future. The Eastridge to BART Regional Connector will help to build a brighter future and enhance our community for generations to come.
Thank you. So keep our eye on the prize, and you might have recognized a couple folks there. Okay, so I will, I'm gonna give you some updates here. On staffing, you know, it's been me and David for outreach, and we are gonna bring on an additional contracted employee, who's gonna be 100% onto this project. Not that our hearts are not 100%, but even David and I, at the time we were putting in on it, doesn't equal one full-time person. So this is going to be really good because the contractor, the project has been awarded, they are planning to have a lot of activity occurring at the same time. And so by having another person on board, that really helps to ensure that we're getting outreach out all the time. And a lot of it is we're out in the field and you know, directly talking with residents or businesses that are right on the corridor. So really excited to have her join us. And she speaks Spanish. So at our next meeting, and in fact, Craig, if any of the neighborhood associations, you know, there've been a few where I've gone and somebody's had to interpret for me, or translate for me. And what's nice is she'll be able to do the presentation directly in the language they understand. So we're looking forward to that. And I recall Welch was one of the neighborhoods that needed Spanish speaking, and also Cassell, and I believe Gostelburn as well.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and let him know.
Thank you, thank you. So, and she starts in mid-April, so that was part of my after April 17th, so I can get her up to speed.
It makes sense, makes sense.
Yeah, and we're also hiring too. We're hiring permanent employees. So if you know anyone who's interested in working for VTA as a public communications specialist, working on capital projects like this, or our transit-oriented development, we have highway projects. we're a great team. So, let them know. I can send you the link to the job notification.
Okay, do that, and I'll make sure I send it out as well.
I was gonna say,
Or,
Craig, you
give
know
it
how
to someone
great
who
it
I
is to
think
work
is
here.
ready. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So, and then also, we have a newsletter that is in translation right now, so I expect to get that probably Monday, and then we'll get it laid out and mailed out in the next probably week to 10 days. And, it's been a while since we've sent an actual newsletter, and so we are in letting people know what's going on, like, I talk about the contract award, like, this is a big deal, like, we're finally moving forward. Construction's gonna happen. This is no longer a concept we talk about. And what's really neat too, at the board meeting and the board workshop that happened a week before that, the community really rallied and came forward to make sure the board knew, like, you need to award this project. We have been waiting for this. So it's exciting. So we want to, embrace that. It does talk about, how to stay informed on the project, making sure people, try to get people to sign up or come to these meetings or invite me to their meetings, and some save the dates. We're going to have a series of community meetings. This is where we talk about the construction, all the stuff that we've been sharing with you over the past couple of years. How the traffic control is going to work, how the project is going to be built, why we need the lanes that we need. We'll be able to share all of that at the community meeting for everybody. And I'm going to hold 3 of them. So 2 will be virtual, and then 1 will be on a Saturday morning, and the idea, and in person. And that way, people have 3 opportunities. What I want to do for one of the virtual ones is facilitate that one in Spanish. So then we'll have interpreters at the other ones as well. So we want to really make sure we get everybody. I am looking at May 8 and 9 for the virtual ones in the evening, and then May 11, that's just a Saturday morning. And I'm looking for a location for May 11, so I can't tell you where yet. And the other what to expect, date to hold on to is June 8th, and that will be the groundbreaking, also a Saturday, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. And it gives an update on the utility relocation. That's what all the previous newsletters were talking about. Now we're actually finished with it. It gives an update on the station art program. And you saw a little bit of that in the video. You saw the rendering of the Story Road station. And it provides some fun facts, like, if people living near transit have higher property values. You can skip the congestion on Capitol Expressway. What are the benefits of this project coming in? And so I put in a few, and the idea is to put in a few more all the time. And so this could be really fun. It could be like, if there's an event at the mall, let's say for the holidays, fun fact, you can take the bus there. You don't have to wait for light rail to do these things. So if there's events or something that you want to, like, hey, Kathleen, put this in your newsletter, let's do it. I want to make this fun and engaging and keep our eye on the prize, especially when people are upset with congestion. It's going to be so much work out there that I know people might get tired of it. And so we want to really just focus on all the good things that are coming to the East San Jose. And it also mentions that we will be at the Cinco de Mayo Festival. District 5 is hosting an event. They're doing a lowrider parade and resource fair, and the whole thing ends at Emma Prush Park. And so that's where the resource fair will be, and VTA will have tables there. So, like all these, fun things that are coming up. Let's see, we're going to mail it like we always do, and then we'll push it out on digital, email, stakeholder, email. Those are the folks who sign up to get our email, and then we'll blast it out on Nextdoor. We will be going door to door to the businesses. We'll put stacks at the libraries, community centers, everywhere where they keep VTA schedule information. We'll have them there as well. And if you're signed up on multiple council member or county supervisor lists, you hopefully will get another email about it then too. So we're going to really put it out there. And also talks about the construction noticing. So I put in, look forward to additional mailings. You're going to get a construction notice. That is where we skip the fluffy stuff and go right into here's what's happening, where it's happening, when it's happening, so people know what to expect. Bus stop signage, we'll have stuff there. So we've kind of got this cadence of a lot of material coming out. And as I mentioned, save the date for June 8th. That I think I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's okay. Saturday, June 8th, we want to do a groundbreaking and make it a celebration. So that's why we're doing it on a Saturday, so community members can actually attend it. We're gonna have a community resource fair, and this is where I want to invite all of you to have a table. I want the neighborhood associations to have a table. I want the council members to have a table, in the county. And a lot of the folks that spoke up for this project, working partnerships, Amigo de Guadalupe, Luna, they were all there, and I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to have a table and share what they have for the community. So it should be a lot of fun. I intend to have food, entertainment, and beverage, not beverage because it's in the morning and it's a public event, but juice, coffee, there we go. But anyway, it's going to be a fun 2-hour event. And we'll do this at our transit center on the plaza. And we'll use our parking area. So I have to map all of this out, and I'll put together like a PDF form that you can fill out if you want to have a table, so I can track how many are coming, and it should be fun. And I'm sorry, I'm still here, David, on this slide. I'm just going through it. So we have an outreach plan. It's been updated since we've been moving out of the utility relocation to the actual construction. So as you can imagine, the project is dynamic, therefore the outreach plan is dynamic. It targets in on who our stakeholders are. So obviously our tier 1 stakeholders are folks like yourselves who are right there on the corridor and who are going to feel it, whether it's traffic impacts, noise and traffic. Communities are number 1 stakeholder. And then, there are people who maybe they don't live in the neighborhood, but they drive through the neighborhood. How are we noticing them? And then, maybe there are just transit advocates. We care about everything you're doing. It doesn't matter if I live there or not. We just want to know. And so we, define how we're going to outreach to all of those folks. And, some of the tools are like the stakeholder working group is one, and we have our policy advisory board. We have a web page, and we're developing collateral. We have collateral, but we're developing more, like the signage we talked about earlier. Frequency of newsletters. Right now, I feel like a good cadence is every quarter, but maybe, this is going to be a busy project. Maybe we need to do more often newsletters, and definitely regular construction notices and updates, so people know, here's what we said was going to happen, here's what's happening, here's where we are. And how do we distribute it? Like the newsletter, a lot of door to door. We're going to be out in the field a lot, and a lot of it's coordinating activities too with some of the businesses or homeowners who are right on the edge of the project. And and events, what events can we advertise for you, and what events can we come to and table at and help share information. Okay, now we can go to the next slide. So one of the things that we've done that's a little different, we have your group, the stakeholder working group, but we thought it would be a good idea to really get our policy advisory board more embraced in the project, so that, because what's going to happen when people do, the project's going to cause a lot more congestion. That's going to be a phone call. People are going to be upset. They're going to, and that's okay. But we want to make it so that when they call their council member, that their staff understands what's going on. Or if it's, hey, that project's causing so much noise, they'll be able to say, well, the noise, they're doing this pile driving, and it's, about 4 days at each location. So the noise will dissipate, as it moves down the road. It will just be kind of help. And then of course they'll give us the information so we can call back those folks, but it helps kind of, we want to be able to calm people down and not have, what we want is our policy advisory board staff to really understand what's going on. And that way they can answer the question better. Because in the past, it's kind of when there's an issue, we'll get a phone call, you have to open up that lane. You have to open the lane. We can't stand the traffic. And this will help them explain, there's a lane closure, but it'll open at 3 o'clock, or this one's permanent. They'll just have better knowledge. So kind of similar to the presentations that we've been doing with you. We're doing same type of presentation, but we did start out with the field meeting, and we're in this picture here. You see the Milpitas station at the Great Mall, And so people kind of have an idea, because I know we show slides, but this is what it really, this is how big a column is. This is how big an elevator shaft is. This is how large a pedestrian overcrossing is. And one thing I want to throw out is if you guys ever want to do this, we can totally set up a field meeting, especially now that the days are getting brighter and longer. I'd be happy to do that and get off of Zoom. So I'll put that out there for you. And then we have been having follow-up meetings with the slides. And in fact, the next one we're going to do is we're going to workshop on just the traffic control. And another one will be just the work at Story Road, because there's a lot happening at that intersection because we're building a station very much like what you see in that photo. Stakeholder working group, I booked all of our meetings throughout the year of 2024. Our next meeting will be on the 23rd of May. And so I just got all the information up on the website, all the links are there, and then you as panelists will be getting all your own links at a regular cadence. Usually about a week before you'll start getting them, and then your daily reminders. As usual, we post the meetings on YouTube afterwards, and this is where I'd love to hear from you. What are other, we'll be doing a lot of project updates, but if there's something specific that you think you would like to see addressed, please let us know so we can incorporate that into a presentation. And this other group, I've mentioned this before, there's an East Side leader group that's more led by Cindy Chavez, and same like yourselves, neighborhood leaders. But this one has VTA, our planning department that attends. I attend this, our government affairs does, as well as the city and the council members from both districts 5 and 8. And it started with wanting to know more about the Ocala area and what kind of transit, what else can we do for that area. And what the city is doing is looking at implementing a microtransit project. So right now they're really kind of more the lead on this, and I know they didn't get funding on one of the grants, so they're kind of looking at what funding they can get to implement a microtransit project. And what we would do is help with some of the outreach. I have the mailing list, I have the constituents, I have the emails. So anything, like we do partner sharing, if I ask them to send stuff out, to make sure people get it, we'll certainly reciprocate that. And the last meeting we had was in February on the 7th, and the next meeting date hasn't been set, so I'm not really sure what the next steps are. Before I turn this over to Ben, any questions from anyone? And there's such a small group, just speak up. I'm turning this over to Ben. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Kathleen. Good evening, everyone. Ben Prasad, project manager, and I have met you folks for the last couple of years now, providing regular project updates. First, I want to introduce you to Scott Hensler. He's the resident engineer for this project. He's going to be the VTS rep, representative, working with the contractor. So basically, he's the captain of the construction management team, I can say. Scott brings in more than 30 years of experience in construction management. He worked on the BART phase 1, the Berryessa extension project for almost, I think, 8 years, correct, Scott?
Yeah, that's correct.
So we want to welcome Scott to our team. Next slide, please. So on March 7th, the VTA Board of Directors unanimously approved the contract award for MCM Railworks. It's a joint venture. MCM contractor, they're primarily bridge contractors. They've built billions of dollars of bridge work throughout California. Railworks, primarily on the rail side of things, the track and electrification, traction power substations. So that's their specialty. So they have formed a joint venture to build this project. The contract value is about $437 million. And the contract duration is 1,250 days. So that comes to about 3.5 years of construction. So this is about almost, the contractor has, bid about almost a 1 year shorter in duration. So it's a good news that the contractor, with their expertise, they want to build this faster than what we had estimated that it's going to take. So we expect a quicker, faster construction, with everything going well. So next slide, David. So we are ready for construction. All the last couple of years, we've been talking about utilities and property acquisition, what was involved in, moving all the utilities and all. So now we are ready for construction. The whole, area alignment is ready for us to move in. So the contractor is going to be starting very soon. The property acquisition is complete. The utility relocations are complete. These are, when I say utilities, these are all, public utilities like PG&E and Comcast and Sun is a water. So all those are, has been cleared for the contractor to come in and start construction. The city and the county approvals are done. And we have to get the encroachment permit from the contract, from the city and the county, so that we can start construction. So the notice of award was issued to the contractor on March 8th. So this is something, as soon as the board of directors take action, we have to formally notify the contractor about the award, and we have done that. The contractor has submitted, to us all the bonds and insurance and other paperwork that is required before we can issue what's called a notice to proceed. So notice to proceed gives the contractor, authorization to start construction in the field. So we expect the contractor to be starting sometime in late April, May. Next slide, please. So Kathleen went through our outreach, process and outreach action activities that we are doing. As part of that, we are also installing project signs. We expect to have 2 big project signs showing, so that people, know what's happening there, and also, it has the duration of the contract, start and end. We plan to inform public about construction duration. We have secured a construction field office. That's where Scott and his team will be there. It consists of the inspectors and schedulers and other staff. Basically managing this construction, right? Making sure the contractor is doing, building the project as per the plans and specifications. So we will establish an on-site outreach office at Story and Capitol Expressway. It's very convenient for our public to come there and talk to our outreach staff, Kathleen's group. If there are any concerns, people are encouraged to come and talk to the staff there at the outreach office. In addition, of course, we have a full-time outreach person, like Kathleen mentioned before, purely dedicated for handling, any public concerns. In addition, the contractor will also have a community relations officer. And community relation officer will be working closely with the VTA outreach staff, and working with making sure we take care of the public concerns during construction. Next slide, please. So what can we expect in April and May, right? Before we we have the next meeting with you in May, on May 23rd, I think Kathleen mentioned. So what do we expect for the next couple of months, right? So the first thing the contractor does is, contractor goes and does what's called the engineering survey. This is where they would go in and mark, the locations as to where the foundations are going to go, where the alignment is, where the, the concrete barriers have they put in, all those, information will be put on the site. We are talking about 2.4 mile long, project site. So you will see the surveyors, being there on site and marking all this. In addition, we'll be also taking some soil tests. We'll take soil samples to test along the corridor, because we'll be excavating for foundations, after that. Temporary traffic striping. So you probably know from our previous meetings that for us to build the project in the middle, we have to take, 2 lanes. So it's going to be we're going to reduce this from, 8 lanes to 6 lanes, so that we have room for construction. So that, for that to happen, so we have to do all this traffic striping. So basically the lanes will be shifted, and then we have room to put the concrete barriers. So the first set of concrete barriers you will see is between Story and Excalibur, Capitol Avenue. That's when, we call it a stage 1 or step 1, where, we have to widen the west side of Capitol Expressway, so that, we have room, not only for the project in the middle, for the light rail structure in the middle, and also for to provide a turn lane at Story. It's a right turn pocket that we're adding there. Of course, with a lot of excavation, there'll be a lot of soil and everything. We don't want any of the sediments getting into the streams. So we protect this with, we call it as, drainage protections. We call it as BMP, which is a best management practices, making sure that, the sediments doesn't get into, any of the stormwater system or into the streams. So also, as part of this project, we had to remove trees. So that's one of the things is, in the beginning of the project we'll be doing. So road widening, like I mentioned earlier, will be happening. These are all just starting, right? And we are just talking about the next 2 months. We also, the contractor will be doing some pile testing. So this is where to confirm, that the pile design is adequate. So those are the things that's going to be happening. I just want to mention this, like I said, the contractor is planning to finish this in 3.5 years, a year earlier than what we had estimated. So we expect the contractor to be working throughout almost in the 2-mile length of the project. So we will see activities at the various locations, when the construction starts. Next slide, please. So the project schedule, construction is going to start next month. We expect this to be completed by fall of 2027. It's roughly about 3.5 years. Once the project is, when all the track work and, wiring and bridge track work, wires, and power, and when everything is ready, we will start testing the trains. The testing takes about 3 to 4 months. Testing, in addition, the VTA operators, train operators will be also trained to, run this segment. So another thing that happens before we start the revenue service is, we call it a safety certification. This has to be certified for safety by CPUC. So that's, we expect that to be happening, in the late 2027. And we expect a revenue service starting in early 2028, light rail that's going to connect to BART and, to connecting to other regional areas. So we are very excited about this project. It's a long time coming, especially for people on the east side. So we're looking forward to having a successful project here. And I'll be happy to take any questions, me or Kathleen. So thank you.
I do have one question, maybe two. Vin, for you. So you say 3.5 years, and the contract, is that from beginning of project to passenger pickup? Or my other question is, how long will the contractors be on the street level impeding the traffic? So maybe 2 different questions there.
Correct. So on the first one, Craig, it is going to be Another, you have 3.5 years plus another 3 to 4 months for testing and training our operators. So that's why we are saying beginning of 2028 is when the revenue is going to start. On your second part of the question, when once we build the bridge, to build the bridge is where, right, we have a lot of challenges in the down below. But even after we have built the bridge, the impacts are not the same as before, because we would have the lanes opened, the turn pockets and all, the turn lanes and all would be open, but we would still see, a lot of equipment to be hauled up there, right? For example, once the bridge is done, we have to put the track, for us to take the track up, right? We will have equipments down below, closing the lanes, lifting the tracks up, right? Lifting the poles, lifting all the electrical wires, all those. So those things would still be happening, but it's not the same intensity of work you would see at the ground level.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. As you were talking, I'm visiting, like you said, lifting the tracks and the poles and all that other stuff. So yeah, that would impact traffic, but more so not as much as with the construction.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's also good to also in that vision, when we go from 4 lanes to 3 lanes in each direction, because they're doing, it's a lot of times they're going to be also taking an additional lane to do certain work, but that has to happen like 9 to 3. So after the morning commute, before the evening commute. So those will be intermittent and moving. So if that's helpful. And I think when we have our community meeting, because we haven't shown those slides in a while, we'll bring that back so people can see. If you recall some of the earlier meetings, we showed like, all the trucks lined up, all the activity that has to happen. And that's why we need to take the extra space at times or do some of the work at night. So any ideas that you have that, like make sure you show this at the community meeting, a certain item, let us know. I think we have a pretty good idea of what we need to show, but if there's something you want to make sure we really extra emphasize, that would be helpful. I also want to welcome Julie and Laura. Thank you for being here this evening. If there aren't any more questions, I just want to, because I'm not wrapping up yet, really, but what I wanted to share, because Julie and Laura missed the beginning part when I was sharing out some dates, but there's going to be a lot of activity, with outreach coming out. So I've got a newsletter that's going to be coming out in about 10 days. It should hit the mail, and a construction notice, an invitation to come to a series of community meetings, and then there'll be the 4th piece will be an invitation to come to a community celebration and groundbreaking, kind of a resource fair. And so and then Julie, I'll come to you for your question. So I just want to give you those dates. We're looking at the community meetings, 2 virtual on May 8th, 1 on May 9th. 1 will be facilitated in Spanish, and then we'll do 1 in person with interpreters. And the 1 on May 8th, I'll also have interpreters. So that way we give people 3 opportunities, 2 virtual, 1 in person to attend. And I need to nail down a location before I can put together the rest of that invitation. And then we want to do the groundbreaking event, and I want to have that it's going to be a community resource fair. That will be June 8th. That's a Saturday in the morning, 10 to 12. And I want to invite all the neighborhood associations, to have a table. So this is an opportunity for you to also share what's going on in your neighborhood. And, I want to bring back the part where we come to your neighborhood associations. So let us know a good time. I've got a couple already. I have 1 next week and another event with District 8 has a budget workshop on the 13th. And so we'll be at that as well. We'll be at the Cinco de Mayo Festival at Emma Prush Park on the 5th. And the person that's coming on board with our team on outreach speaks Spanish, so we'll be able to present in Spanish. So I remember, Laura, I think you were the one that had to interpret when last time I met with the Welch group. So this will alleviate a lot of that. We'll be able to just provide it right there in everyone's language. So if you have meetings coming up or, you know, you want to get us on the agenda, we'd love to be there. Julie.
Hello.
there.
So what's going to happen, just like with 87, it went millions over budget. How are we going to keep the company that we've hired to do the construction within their limits and us not paying out more money, which always happens in big city and county projects? That's question one. And question two, how is Eastridge has been categorized as a dying shopping center? So basically, are we doing the VTA still just to get that part of San Jose connected with the rest of the area? Because it has nothing to do with Eastridge is probably going to be closed and dead within a year or two.
Ben,
Okay.
I'll take the Eastridge one, and then you want to take the contractor one?
Yeah.
Okay, so Eastridge, the Eastridge Transit Center is our most busiest transit center. So that and so it made sense to do that. And I know there are desires, because I don't think there's anything permanent, but you know, and I have heard the county supervisor speak about the future of the Reed Hillview Airport area as an area of future development. I know there's development happening up at the golf course. I think they're looking, you know, into the future of what's going on. You know, my event at the mall, I want people to go shopping at the mall when we're done on the 8th. So I know I will be. So I think, you know, there, you know, when you look at all the development going on, you know, people are going to be gravitating towards public transportation to get through the area. And we see that with a lot of the younger folks. They don't want cars. And so by, you know, having more public transportation opportunities that are being brought to the east side will help people move around more. So I think we have a good location with the mall. Or it's the Eastridge Transit Center, which is right adjacent to the mall.
Okay. So I'll take the second question here. So with regards to you know, cost overruns of the project, you know, we think we have a good team here. The project, we call it the project controls team, you know, that manages the schedule and the cost. You know, time is money, right? So we know that. So we want to make sure that, you know, we will make sure that we have a good team to manage the contractors' activities, you know, whether it's cost side on the schedule side. But we have to, you know, realize that in construction, sometimes there are surprises. So hopefully there are no major surprises that, you know, it would, you know, increase the cost on the project. But we'll be, you know, we have a team here to manage, you know, we call it as project controls team that manages the schedule and the cost on this project. Hopefully that answers your question.
Well, that was an answer, but it wasn't. We'll see how it turns out. Thanks.
Laura, I see your hand up.
Hi, Kathleen. This question's for you. Where is going to be the location for that resource fair?
At the Transit Plaza. So and when I put together an invitation, I'll put a map, but if you can imagine where the bus bays are, there's a plaza area, and I'm also using our part of the parking lot.
Okay. And second question, you said about mailers you were going to send out, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So can you send that via email? Because I know in the past you said that and I've never received them.
Yeah, okay, and they do go out on email. And also, so one thing I'd like to offer everyone too, if you'd like me to bring you a stack, you know, for a neighborhood association meeting or an event you're attending, I can totally plop extras in the mail for you as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I could share them at our meeting.
Yeah, but I'll definitely, usually when it comes out, I do the stakeholder email, but I usually in the past do email this group, like, here's the newsletter, send it out. Because the idea is they get it in the mail, they get it from you on email, they get it from me on email, they get it from their council member on email, like they see it at the library, you know, so like.
All
try to
right.
get it out there.
I mean, I don't necessarily get it. That's why I'm just kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll
But
check in with
anyway,
you. I'll make a note to
yeah.
like double check with you. Thank you, Laura.
Okay, great, thanks.
Sometimes Laura, your email is funny too. I don't know if you noticed, but I emailed you like at two
I
different
have two of
emails,
them. Yeah.
because one of them always bounces back at me.
Oh,
It's weird. And it's when I'm doing the on the Zoom. So, and I'm wondering if that's the one I'm usually emailing you. Maybe that I'll
yeah,
look
you
it up.
let me
That's
know.
good to know. That might be
Yeah.
why you've not received things.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Anybody else? Or questions? Okay, well, anyone else on staff? Anyone have anything to say? Oh, one thing I also want to say, because Laura, you missed my beginning part, but I just want to say kudos. Just kudos to all the neighborhood and, leaders that came out to the board workshop, that sent their letters, that came to the board meeting. They heard you. And I was in the audience at the board meeting, and you couldn't see me, but I was clapping. I was just very touched, and it was exciting to, see so much support. And I'm so glad you had that unanimous agreement to go forward with the contract, and it was really neat. And I know the communities really had to come out several times to make sure this project keeps moving, and here we are.
So true.
It's kind of emotional. I mean, actually it was. I mean, because I've been part of this for the last 12 years, so yay. And now it's going to be like, the major remodel on fire. So, it's like, okay, here we go. Let's buckle up. And we got to keep our eye on the prize.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, well, I'm going to thank you all for coming. This will be available online, if not tomorrow, by Monday. And you can share it out, and also the video. Did you all get it when I sent it on email to you directly? And I'll have to double check with Laura. Share it out. It's such a fun video. I love that it has community members in it. We showed it at was it the policy advisory board? Yeah, we did. It was at the policy advisory board meeting, and everybody was just like, it just got everybody excited about, the project again too. So, yay. All right. Well, thank you all. I'm gonna go ahead and end this, and you know how to reach me.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening.
Good
Bye,
night.
everyone.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.